Hi everybody, this is Bo Sanchez here in Truly Rich Club Success Mentors Collection, and I am with a mentor of mine. His name is Larry Gamboa. Hi Larry.
Hello Bo.
I'm excited to be here.
Same here.
Excited to be with you, and you've taught me so many things, not only in real estate, which is your forte, but also in life. And great to see you, Larry.
Thank you, Bo. It's good to be here myself and to meet the folks.
Do you remember that time, Larry, when we met 3 years ago? I mean, we've known each other for such a long time, you know, but 3 years ago we met each other in PowerBooks.
Yes,
and,
very much.
That was a pivotal moment for me because a year before that, I was asking God to give me a mentor for real estate because one of my discoveries in this journey towards financial freedom is that real estate has to have some play. I mean, when you look at all the wealthy people in the world, they're into real estate.
Yes.
And either they got rich through real estate or they parked their money through real estate. And so there, I started praying for a mentor, and there, you came along. And thank you.
You're very welcome, Bo. And you call me a mentor, but I was just slightly ahead of the learning curve at that point in time.
But Larry, can you tell me why is it that you know, all the rich people in the world, most of them, let's not say all, but let's say most of them have their foot in real estate? Why?
Well, it's solid.
Solid?
Yeah, it's got a house, it's got land. There's more and more people, but there's less and less land for the people to stay in.
Well, that's true. That's true.
And
supply and demand.
Yes, and because of that supply and demand, they can go to banks, for example, and borrow against real estate, using real estate as collateral.
Absolutely.
They cannot do that with stocks and bonds, for example.
No.
So it's very, very useful just to leverage it if you know what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the banks trust it. It's real estate. In fact, real means royal estate. The royals, the kings, used to own
everything.
Everything.
That's why it's called real estate, royal estate.
Yes. Gradually, through the years, the industrial age, the agrarian age, the people began to acquire ownership over the royal estate.
Wow.
So it's a big opening up of the floodgates. You can now own your own house and lot.
Yeah.
It became slowly the dream of every person, wherever you are in the world, to say, this is my own.
That's right. So Larry, what we're saying now is that if you want to become wealthy, and there are a lot of people watching this or listening to this now, this program, and you know they want to become truly rich. They want to gain and achieve financial freedom. And so we're saying they've got to know real estate.
Yes.
They have to. It's not like even a choice. Because
absolutely.
We were talking before the interview. We were talking that everybody's foot is in real estate.
Yes.
Even the poor person is.
In the last Think Rich Pinoy seminar that we had, it just dawned on me, Bo.
Yeah.
I said, how many of you live in houses? Of course, everybody. How many are renting, you know, where you're living?
Yeah.
So people, right? How many own it? Other people. Yeah. So all of you, all of us,
right?
Whether we consciously or we're involved in real estate from the word go. You know? Either from the outside because we want to own it, because 70% of the people I understand who live in Metro Manila are renting. So only 30% own.
Yeah.
And if you have, say, 10 million people, that's 7 million people renting.
That's right.
So the real estate market is going to have to address those 7 million people who little by little would like to own their own piece of property.
Larry, let me place myself in the position of those who are listening to this program. Let's say I'm someone who, you know, you've got two or three different people. One is somebody who's renting. He's renting his own house. And I'm listening to you, Larry, and I'm saying, my gosh, you guys, you know, you and Bo, you're investing, you're getting into the real estate business. I'm just renting a little apartment. What am I going to do? Then there's this other person who's listening to us, Larry. He owns his own house. But that's it. Now we're challenging him to say, go beyond that, you know? Why not have a rental property? Why not go and buy a property and sell it right away, you know? Stuff like that. How are we going to address that, Larry? How are you going to address these two kinds of people? Number one, the person who's just renting, and then number two, the person who owns his house. And yeah.
Good, that's a good question. The renting person,
yes,
he's the first person I thought of when I got into this like 4 years ago. I was looking at people who are renting,
yes,
and I said, what can I provide these people so that they can own it,
yes,
without my getting into property management, you know, fixing toilets and being called all odd hours of the day.
Right.
That's when I stumbled into rent to own. So they're renting, but they have the hope, the assurance, the security of saying, if I pay faithfully over a certain period of time, my monthly rental, there is my option to purchase after 5 years, 7 years, 10 years.
So Larry, I'm thinking of those people who are listening to this program and who are saying, I'm just renting a little apartment, Larry. What should I do?
Okay. The challenge would be, actually the hope that you would have is, I've been renting all my life. The landlord keeps increasing my rent every year, you know, 5%, 10%, or maybe he gives me a break this year, but it's still not mine.
That's right.
The challenge, is there a hope down the near or far future that I can convert this into something I own? That was when the concept, at least as far as I'm, came along, say, rent to own. The lawyers call it lease agreement with the option to purchase.
Yes.
So the rent that you're paying, rather than simply going to the landlord, the rent builds equity, which allows you to own the property. Sometimes after 3 years, 5 years, 10 years, whatever your arrangement with the landlord owner.
Okay.
But you become, rather than a renter, you become a tenant, a renter, buyer. So you're a tenant buyer. And your mentality changes. The way you take care of the property, the way you regard it. Akin na ito, this is going to be mine, you know? And that determines the faithfulness of care and payment.
That's right. And that's what you've done, Larry. You've bought foreclosed properties.
Yes.
You've turned them into rent-to-own situations for, let's say, 20 years, 15 years to 20 years. So the tenant pays the rental, but the rental is really payment. And so by the end of 15, 20 years, he owns that property. Which is incredibly generous for you, on your part. You've made that decision that you want to help people own their own houses. And I think people who are renting right now, if you're listening, you know, to find a way by which you can get into those kinds of situations. Of course, they don't have to look for you, Larry, and look for a rent-to-own situation from you, but that would mean like borrowing from the bank. And so instead of paying rent money, they pay a monthly amortization to the bank.
Correct.
And then after, 15, 20 years, it'll become theirs. Larry, this question that was my question before. Me get into real estate? Isn't that just for the big boys? I mean, I'm just a salaried person. I'm just an employee earning from my job. I mean, how in the world can I enter into real estate?
Okay. Are you renting right now?
Well, let's say I'm the second person, Larry. I own my house. I own my house.
Okay.
And but that's it. That's all I own. I own my house. Oh, I'm paying the loan so I'm still paying that loan. And how in the world can I enter into real estate?
It's a good question, Bo. First of all, you're paying the loan. You said that, no?
Yeah, for my house.
From Robert Kiyosaki's point of view, by definition, your house becomes a liability. Okay. Because if you're using borrowed money, that borrowed money is mortgaged with the bank or the person, the entity you're borrowing from. Therefore, you still don't own it until you've fully paid.
That's right.
So it's really a liability. It's you're really paying every month.
Yeah.
It's an asset on the part of the bank.
Ah.
So it's putting money on their pockets.
Yep, I agree.
And the money is coming from your pocket.
It's painful to pay that every month. Okay, okay.
But of course, you are made to believe it's my home, it's an asset.
Yeah.
But that will lead to wrong kind of thinking. It's not yet an asset until it's giving you money.
All right.
So for example, I was just talking to a young man yesterday. He says, I bought a house.
Yeah.
I'm paying for the house.
Yes.
But I have 3 rooms, and there's like 3 people living in each room who are paying me $1,500 a month because I'm still single. So the money they're giving me pays for my amortization.
Wow.
That house is no longer a liability. He's turned it into an asset.
That's beautiful.
Just by a little bit of creative thinking on his part.
Fantastic.
So he's become an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Using the same rental money that he would normally be using to pay rent.
That's amazing. You know, Larry, I was just talking with my sisters, and they're, you know, they're some of them are living in their own homes already. Some of them are still looking for a condo somewhere, and I was telling my sisters, look, why don't we just put our money together and build something in our family property?
Yes.
And here in Cubao. And then I said, but instead of just building, you know, 5 condominiums for the 5 of you, why not build a 2nd story and a 3rd story and offer it as a rental situation?
Beautiful.
You know, that's something like what you mentioned.
Absolutely.
It takes the word, I love the word that you use, creativity.
Yes.
People don't have creativity. They want to have a house, they save for the house, they put a down payment, they start paying it for the next 20 years.
Exactly.
And they don't have the creativity to say, wait a minute, what if instead of just building one house, why not have a spare room? Why not have a spare unit? Why not, you know, and then offer that as a rental for someone, and then that rent pays the amortization.
Right on, Bo.
Wow. Creativity.
Creativity. And you think it's only for a certain level.
Yes.
Even people living in San Lorenzo Village.
Yes.
I have a brother. His in-laws gave them a house.
Yes.
What he did is he took the house, very valuable property,
right,
created a duplex out of it. So 2 houses. And it's renting or whatever, each one of them.
Yes.
And then they moved out somewhere else, and that rental is paying for the amortization.
Beautiful. And for those who are non-Filipinos watching or listening to this, San Lorenzo is one of the, you know, more exclusive, pricier subdivisions. So that concept works for, you know, whether rich,
my
poor,
single friend, you know, with several small rooms, you know, and now it's the high end. It's a concept that can be used wherever you feel appropriate.
Larry, I remember when we went to Dubai, you met a person there that did not even own the house.
Oh yes.
And can you tell us that story, because that inspired me. What is he doing?
He's a OFW.
Yeah.
Working in Dubai.
Yes.
And he's receiving his salary. But he wanted to generate income more than his salary.
Yes.
So he bought some. They have a special name in Dubai for this. They let them out, or they're really rentals.
Yeah.
And he brought in bed spacers. So they're paying him for the chance to sleep there, where Filipinos would have no place to stay. He gives affordable place to stay. And because of the number, you know, you have 4, 5, 7, he's getting nice income that pays for the rental and puts money in his pocket, in addition to his salary. You know? So he and his wife, again, just a little bit of creativity, and even outside the Philippines, they're generating passive income.
What I liked about that story, Larry, is that he doesn't even own the house.
Yes.
He just rented the house, and then what he did was he started, you know, selling bed spaces.
Yes.
And the bed spaces is much more than the rent of the whole house, and so he has this little profit every single month. It's
every single month.
Just amazing how a little creativity does that. Larry, I'm here, let's say, I'm watching this show right now, Larry, and I'm saying, wow, that's interesting. But still, I don't have money. I still don't have, you know, someone who doesn't have money for down payment, can I get into the real estate game? What does it mean to buy? You know, I go to this, salespeople come to me and they sell me this pre-selling condominium in this big building, or they sell me this property, empty lot in a subdivision. Is that the way to go, or are there other creative ways of doing it?
There are definitely creative ways. No? One way I want to talk about is wholesaling. This is where you buy and flip a property, and you may not have any money to do this. You simply need to get your phone ring, and the people calling you want to sell their houses.
Okay.
If you know the game, and it's in the third book, Think Rich Quick, with Trace Trajano.
That's right.
You simply figure out the value of the property.
Yes.
There's a simple way of computing.
Right.
And now I'm moving towards with franchisees.
Yes.
At the end of the phone call, you would know the value, the after repair value. Yes. You would know the repairs, and if it has rental possibilities.
Right.
You can quote a price before you drop the phone.
Wow.
That you're offering to purchase the property for.
Amazing.
And it's calculated to be rejected. If they accept it, you're offering too high. Okay, so they reject it, but invariably if they need the money, since it's an all-cash offer, very low, they come back to you, they call you, you have begun a conversation with them, and once they say, okay, we'll take it, you have a list of people already waiting and interested who you have begun to develop a relationship with, in a way you've trained. You could sell that house because it is, right away, at 70% of the after repair value. So people who know you and know this is good value, that 30% gives them instant equity in the property. And what money did I put out? Nothing, because I just got the phone call, and then I emailed these people and flipped the property.
Right. So what you're saying, Larry, is that, you know, why not go around and do two things? One is to look for buyers.
Yes.
People who are interested with this particular house. You get their specifics, get their details, but most importantly, build a relationship with them so that they trust you.
Very important.
And do them the service of looking for a house for them.
Exactly.
But you be such a great, wonderful negotiator that you'll be able to get the bottom price from the seller, and then flip it to this person who's looking for that house with of course a profit.
Yes.
In payment of your, you know, looking around and getting the best price for them. That's amazing. You no capital involved.
No.
But just creativity again, and. You know, Larry, also, I guess, tenacity, intensity, aggressiveness.
Oh, yes.
The discipline to wake up in the morning and say, I'm going to look for a house, or I'm going to look for a buyer.
Yes. Yeah. You also need certain skills.
Okay.
Like, you have to learn how to negotiate with the sellers.
Yes.
And then negotiation sometimes with the bank.
Yes.
Sometimes you have to negotiate with buyers.
Yeah.
So the ability to relate and negotiate, it can be taught, but we help people out by giving them scripts.
Wow.
So right now we're in the process of developing a script for dealing with the banks, a script for dealing with sellers of houses, a script for buyers, a script for real estate brokers. No?
That makes life so much easier.
Oh yes, they say fake it till you make it. So fake it like you're doing it, but you're working out of a script until you develop your own script.
Yeah.
And then you grow.
Wonderful. And that's what you teach your franchisees.
Yes, more and more, we're trying to get them into learning a system.
Yes.
For example, if the system of buying and selling and doing it through the phone and through the internet, they can do one house a month and have 100,000 wholesale profit. One house a month. In 1 year, that's 1.2 million pesos.
That's right.
Going to their pocket.
Yeah.
And they spend, say, 2 hours a day doing the system.
That's right.
What's hard about that?
Yeah, yeah. As long as you have the discipline to be able to give that 2 hours a day.
Yes.
And really be, you know, I'd call it gung-ho, I'd call it aggressiveness, I call it, you know, saying, I'll do it. You know, there are people who are hesitant, you know.
The key word, Bo, is discipline.
Yeah.
You know? That even if you don't feel like it, even if you're afraid, and there's a lot of fear because it's new, that you're willing to step out and take the chance.
Oh, Larry, that's always been, you know, before I leave real estate, because I'd like to ask you about some other stuff, you know, about just the whole idea of how to become a man of wealth, and not only in money but in other areas of your life. But Larry, before I leave real estate, foreclosed properties. Let's talk about that, because people are afraid of calling the bank, or people are afraid of going to the bank and buying from the bank. They'd rather buy from what's the advantage of going and buying foreclosed properties?
Several. One is the banks have done the work for you.
Okay.
They have foreclosed from somebody.
Yes.
The title has been cleaned up. It's been, they call it consolidated.
Yes.
So the name is transferred from them to the bank.
Okay.
You're spared all the paperwork, the legal stuff.
Fantastic.
You have a property that you know is good.
Yes.
And when I used to do it several years ago, they would even tell you, we can't give you this property because there's a tenant still living there.
Okay.
Now, of course, they're already telling you, you have to get rid of the tenant, we won't do it, and our name is too precious. So you have to be more careful.
Yes.
But before, they really took care of you.
Yeah.
And that's a big advantage. You don't need office staff.
That's right.
Your staff becomes the people of the bank, the lawyers of the bank, the people filing there, the account managers. They're all really working for you.
That's right.
And you're paying them nothing.
Wow.
So it's beautiful for a home-based business.
Yeah. And then?
And then,
I just go to the bank and I'll just say, hey, what are your lists?
Yes, and it's for free.
It's for free.
And when you ask them about their list and it's foreclosed, from very stern bankers who are suspicious of you, they start smiling at you and saying, can I offer you coffee? And marketing becomes the name of the game for them.
Because they want to sell their property.
Absolutely.
Want to get rid of them.
Yes.
So if you come in interested, they'll treat you like a, you know, a king.
And it's funny, the banks call this non-performing assets.
Yes.
But an asset puts money in your pocket. Is this putting money in the bank's pocket? The answer is no. So they say, that's why we call it non-performing. Well, that's a contradiction in terms. How can it be an asset and non-performing at the same time? That's just...
I also see the advantage, Larry, is that when you when you buy a foreclosed property from the bank, you don't have to give the whole money.
Yes.
You just pay 10 or 20% of the whole value.
Big advantage.
So if the property is what, 2 million, you just have to pay 200,000.
Exactly.
And then you pay, let's say, for the next 15 years. Then you know you have this time to sell the property for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 6 months. You know, get rid of the property, sell it, or rent to own, and earn. Larry, I need to say this to those who are watching and listening to this program. A rent-to-own situation is if the bank's monthly amortization that the bank gets from you, let's say 5,000 pesos per unit for one small tiny apartment, you can rent that apartment for, let's say, 7,000 or 8,000, and you have 2,000 a month.
Absolutely.
For you. But let's say if you have 10 of those units or 20 of those units, then that 2,000 is not measly anymore.
No more.
It can go beyond that. The question therefore is one of again going from bank to bank, looking for those lists and finding out the best properties.
But with the internet, Bo, rather than going bank to bank, start with the telephone.
Oh, okay.
And there's all consolidated into one foreclosed property area.
Oh, yes.
And there's normally in home office, and you ask them, can you email me the list?
Okay.
And most banks understand email now.
And they just email it to you.
And they'll just send it to you so you can look at it first before getting on your car, spending on gasoline.
Right, right.
So you can again do the business.
Amazing.
With very little going out.
That's right.
If you got a system.
Yeah. Larry, if somebody is interested in getting your system, the way you do things from A to Z, and you're going to coach them and you're going to teach them, what should they do? Email you?
Email me at thinkrichpinoy@gmail.com.
Yes.
Attend your seminar first, get financially literate through the Truly Rich seminar and the coaching seminars. And then when you want to focus on real estate, attend our whole day Think Rich Pinoy Wealth Seminar.
Yeah.
And we're thinking about a 2-day seminar where at the end of it you can actually go and do a deal.
Wow.
But that's still in the works. No?
Okay.
So in other words, we want to be able to get people to overcome the fear,
That's right.
to show there are simple steps, and that with maybe 2 hours, 1 hour a day, keep your job, don't resign, please. No. you can earn wholesale income or even passive income.
That's great. That's great. Since I gotten to know Larry Gamboa, my dear friends, I've done already 9 properties.
Wow.
And it's been wonderful. Small ones, Larry, not like you. Larry has graduated to buying buildings now from buying apartments, but I'm still in the apartment stage, the units, the condos, but it's doing so well. I mean, not every property is doing well. Some properties, a few of them, I think 2 of them are not doing well, but well, 2 out of 9, that's not bad. 7 out of 9 earning very well through real estate. Some of them rent to own, some of them flips.
Wow.
Like we sold right away with our partners, and so there.
So this is not theory. This is something that
it's
being done.
And it's done by someone like me who doesn't have the time, not much time, but just being able to do it with other people.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Larry, to take one step away from real estate, what do you think? You've been helping people, you've been teaching people all your life, and what's the secret to what are the things that if I want to be wealthy, if I want to be truly rich, what are the things that I need to do? I know it's a big question.
Yes.
But from you, the way you've taught people, you've met people, you have franchisees under you, and what do you see?
Shortcut answer would be get to know the theology of money.
Okay.
So go to Bo Sanchez's feast where he talks about some of that, and the Truly Rich course. Because unless you get your head fixed up there are blocks. The theology of money clears up the blocks, clears up the misunderstandings. And we pick them up at childhood, we pick them up from our parents, we pick them up from school. And unless we fix that up, no matter what we do, something is holding us back. It's like brakes, and you got the accelerator going, and then the brakes are still not released. So very important to theology of money, the mindset, is what I call it. Before you move into marketing, which is crucial for real estate, marketing, selling, and management. Those are the 3 big things. 3 M's.
3 M's. Mindset, marketing,
and management.
Wow. That's amazing. There are people who don't have the mindset.
Yes.
They don't know how to market. And they can't manage their life even.
Absolutely. So how do you expect to be an entrepreneur? I mean, you can just wish it all you want, but no action follows.
There are people who don't have the mindset. They just think poor. They think very negatively. It's terrible. Absolutely terrible. And then they don't know how to market themselves. Marketing is basically marketing yourself, because people will buy from you if they trust you.
Yes.
So how in the world so they don't know how to market themselves there, which is of course from mindset, because poor self-image, poor thinking,
connected.
It's all connected. And then management. They can't manage their life. They can't manage a simple thing. Larry, what I appreciate about you, what I admire about you, is that you're someone with incredible discipline. Like at this age, I'm not going to tell them how old you are, Larry, but you swim.
63.
Okay. He announces it to the world.
Okay.
You swim, you box. I don't know how many times do you swim and you box, Larry, every week?
I try to do it daily.
Oh,
either one or
man.
the other.
Oh my gosh! At the age of 63, I wish I could be like you, Larry. I mean, I'm exercising now, you know, but you swim and you box.
The key is to have fun.
Yeah.
Boxing is fun.
Yeah.
You're sweating, you're talking to people there, you're screaming your head off as you're doing the mitts, no? Swimming is a little more quiet.
Okay.
But there's nature, there's flowers, there's a lot of green where I do it, no?
That's beautiful.
You can even pray while you're swimming. You can just kind of step back and just let things flow.
Fantastic.
So it's a break.
Yeah.
It balances out.
Yeah. And you have fun. Let's say you're a reader.
Yes.
You read a lot and you have fun doing that. You're someone also who you're the one who told me to journal. I mean, I was journaling when I was a kid, you know, when I was young as a teenager. But you said no, focus on journaling and make it a way of bringing out ideas and being a reflective person and planning. And, so I took that from you. So every morning.
But you threw it back, and journaling could be a way of praying.
Oh yeah.
Talking to our Lord, no?
Yeah.
So it kind of opens up the individual to many, many things. And what a way to start the day.
Which is managing your life.
Yes.
Managing your life. Exercise, eating the right food, and journaling, reflection, all of that. And then when you manage your life, then you can manage an enterprise.
Yes.
A tiny business first.
Yes.
Small deals first.
Very, very
And then
true.
later on, you know, marketing needs to be managed.
Oh,
the whole area of marketing yourself and marketing your product and marketing your business. That's amazing, Larry. Yeah. So I love that. I love the 3 M's and so many other things. Thank you, Larry.
You're very welcome, Bo.
I hope to have a chat with you again because I know that we lack time, but there are so many other things I'd like to pick from your brain and share it to everyone.
Well, we keep doing that informally, not necessarily in front of the camera.
Yeah, of course, that's what we do.
Drop by the feast every week, so that's a nice opportunity to learn and share.
That's right, Larry. And so let me repeat, those who want to keep in touch with you, get in touch with you, that will be through thinkrich@gmail.com. Am I right?
Right.
Okay. And you've published 3 books.
Yes.
It's Think Rich Pinoy. That's book number 1. And then you came out with Grow Rich Pinoy.
That's right.
And then finally, your 3rd book with Trace Trajano, it's Think Rich Quick.
Yes.
And all 3 books deal with creative real estate.
Yes.
Hallelujah.
And the blocks and how to overcome blocks, the mindset.
Yeah. And the 3rd book, because there's some people who are watching or listening to this that live in the U.S. actually. The 3rd book is co-authored with Trace Trajano, who lives in the U.S.
Yes.
And he's an employee.
Procter & Gamble employee.
But amazing how many deals he makes a year.
Yes.
How many, I think the last thing that, I don't know, I received an email from him is that he's buying a building now.
Yes. Apartment complex, 200 unit apartment complex.
Where is he buying this? What state?
Dayton, Ohio.
Oh my
but
gosh.
There's different places.
Yeah, he's got so many properties now. An employee.
Yes.
And it's possible.
It is very possible.
So get that book, Think Rich Quick, with Larry Gamboa and Trace Trajano.
That's right.
Thank you, Larry.
Thank you, Bo.
Thank you so much. Thank you for teaching.
Yep.
Wonderful. So there you have it. Larry Gamboa and the way he does real estate. It can be done anywhere around the world. And hope you've learned much today. Hi everybody, this is